episodes so far, we put everything away, and they were like, oh, we forgot to talk about that. We said it, and then we didn't do it. So, what we're planning to do is, at the 2-week mark, since we're only doing monthly episodes, is maybe we'll post the We Forgot. And so that's what we're going to talk about here. So the thing that I forgot was I forgot to talk about the books I was reading. And then I brought up what my plan was for the books. So I read The Miracle Morning, which was really just The Secret, if you're familiar with The Secret, for waking up early. I love to hate The Secret. I think The Secret is a little silly. It's only because of my experience in developing countries. Like, it's just insane to think that what good karma essentially is going to really impact people's lives in developing countries. And that's where I was introduced to it, and I was just like, However, I also feel like I've seen The Secret work. I have a hard time hating it, but also I don't believe it. So The Miracle Morning was good for getting up early. He talks about vision boards, he talks about setting goals, he talks about meditating. It was a very simple read. It took me under 2 hours. If you want to get up in the morning a little earlier than usual and you need the motivation, this might be the book for you. I don't know, check it out. And then the reason I haven't read anything else is because we talked about the shrine earlier to our family, and one of the things I'm working on is in this maximizing space, minimalizing stuff lifestyle that I want, I have all these books. Some of these books I've never read. I've trekked them from home to home that I've lived in, thinking to myself, I'll read that, or at least it'll look cool on a shelf when someone comes by and sees it, because that's really what I'm doing. But I've decided that I need to get rid of those books, that I've never even read them, so I might not even enjoy them, and yet I'm holding on to them because someone might think that they're cool sitting on a shelf. So, the one I'm reading right now, trying to read, is The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I read the Cliff Notes in high school, and they were good. Like, the story was really good, the Cliff Notes were captivating, but in the first chapter of the book, the dad is having an orgy, and as a sophomore in high school, I had to look that word up, because it's not spelled like it's pronounced. And so I had to look up O-R-G-Y, and I was like, excuse me? I'm a good Catholic girl. What's this book? And so I was like, I can't read this book. So, but I had to. So I read the Cliff Notes. And yeah, the Cliff Notes were really captivating. So I was like, I'm going to hold on to this book, and one day I'm going to read it. And so right now, I'm reading it. And it's hard. Just because the introduction of all the characters really, like, Dostoevsky really gets into it, and so the
first 300 pages is just here are these people.
Yeah, and so I'm instead listening to it because I just couldn't get to it. So I also the copy that I have is like falling apart. The cover's ripped off. I don't know where I got it. So as I was trying to read it, it just kept falling apart on me, and so I was like, all right, so I got to put it down. So for that point, I actually quit it. And then I learned about Project Gutenberg, which has a bunch of books for free.
Oh, right, the ones that are over 150 years or whatever, right?
Well, no, I mean, Brothers Karamazov isn't even that old. I don't know how they've gotten a license for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but yeah, so they not only have books for free, but they also have audiobooks for free, and so they have both the audiobook and the actual book. So I started initially trying to read the book, and then I was like, ugh, God, can we talk about this elder preacher? Like, I can't anymore. And then I'm starting to listen to it, and it's fine to listen to. Thank you to the volunteers at Project Gutenberg for helping me get through Brothers Karamazov.
And so, because Trina forgot about books, I joined her in the forgetting about books. So this month I read Sharp Objects because Trina and Bridget watched the show, and they both read the book too, so I needed to play catch up. And so I did Sharp Objects. I felt like it was supposed to be a huge surprise, but I knew I was dealing with Munchausen by proxy.
Yeah.
By the 10th chapter, like halfway through the book, I knew what I was dealing with. I didn't necessarily expect that she would have killed those little kids, but I knew that I was dealing with a Munchausen by proxy situation. So I listened to Time's Convert by Deborah Harkness. Deborah Harkness is the author of The Discovery of Witches, which I told you was, in the previous episode, gave me the worst case of book hangover ever. I loved those books. I've probably listened to them 15 times or more. Like, I love them on a Harry Potter level, which is saying a lot for me.
It is.
Yeah.
Saying a lot.
It's saying a lot for me. Harry Potter was like it for me. So these books were fantastic for me, and they changed the reader on this book. And I couldn't get past it.
Oh no.
So Jennifer Ikeda read the first 3 books, and the lady who read the next book didn't pronounce the names the same. She didn't voice the characters. Jennifer Ikeda did just a phenomenal job. She just was those books to me. I guess maybe because I'm an Audible listener, I get really attached to those narrators. Anyway, I couldn't get past it. I was really disappointed in the book, and I don't know that I would have felt that way had I just put aside the Audible copy and picked up and read it. I'm pretty seriously angry with Audible right now because they ruined one of my favorite authors, and I hope that Jennifer Ikeda will come back for the next one. I'm also all the way to, I've been listening to them kind of ongoing for a while, but I'm on book 7 of the Outlander series. So I'm all the way to Echo in the Bone by Diana Gabaldon. And season 4 just aired on Outlander. So I got suckered into Outlander. I got tricked, fooled. My best friend in San Antonio, she calls me and she says, I just watched this show and there's so many knitted things and I want all the things knitted out of this show.
Yeah. Forget you, friend. You know who you are.
I'm gonna forgive Rachel. But then I watched the show and I was like, oh my. It's an oh my show.
Yeah, our mom loves it, and she was like, Trine, you gotta watch this show. The sex scenes are really good. And I was like, okay, immediate not watch, Mom.
I was like, okay.
The last thing I want to be talking about with you are sex scenes on a TV show.
If you make it past season 1, the sex dies down quite a bit. And it like becomes a normal amount of sex. Not like the first season was just like, it was intense. And then like so San Antonio last weekend, that's the girl I went to go visit. This weekend I'm going to Minnesota. So the girl from Minnesota, Lauren, she says to me, I love those books. They're the most amazing books in the whole wide world. The books and the books and the books. They're each 50 hours long if you listen to Audible books, which is, it's kind of like a win and a lose situation for me because I knit a lot, right? So that's 50 hours that I don't have to think about what I'm listening to. I don't have to go shopping for books. I can just listen for 50 hours. But I did 4 in a row. I needed a break. So now 200 hours of Outlander, y'all. So I took a break. I've made it, you know, like I've had to do it in pieces. So I did 4 in bulk. And then the other ones I've done in pieces as I have mixed them in with other books. I've made it to book 7, which means that I'm far enough along that I can watch season 4 of Outlander. Don't let us sucker you into it. You've been warned. There's a lot of sex the first season. And it's a lot of that uncomfortable in a room with somebody else sex. Like, it's a I should watch this by myself.
Yeah, and don't get suckered into reading the books either. If you're contemplating it, go visit my friend Renata's podcast, Worst Bestsellers, and one of their episodes what they do is they read best-selling books that are actually terrible and review them. They're very funny. I highly recommend them. And they do an Outlander episode. And when Melissa told me she was reading it, I was like, no, too many herbs. There's too many herbs in that book. Don't do it.
It's a lot of herbs. But it is, I mean, it's a lot of bang for your buck, right? You spend a little bit of money, you get 50 hours of
That's
knitting.
what you're into.
If that's what you're into. I'm committed now. Trina understands that I'm committed now because Trina watches seasons of stuff that she's been done with for forever.
Yeah. So. Melissa's Outlander is my supernatural. Supernatural seems right up my alley, and so I thought, oh, well, I'll watch this show. And then I looked at it. It was like 10 seasons. I was like, oh, God. I was like, that's fine. I'm going to commit all summer I mean, obviously this is a couple years ago, so now I think they're on season 13 or 14. I was like, I'm gonna commit all summer to watching this show. It took me until December, and I wish I was joking, but it's all I watched. And I'll watch 5 or 6 hours a day of TV. And so I was just like, but that show it's good, but it's not sit through 12 seasons good.
Yeah.
I can't knock Melissa wanting to commit to Outlander, because I have committed to Supernatural. I'm caught up.
Well, and you committed to Pretty Little Liars too, right?
Yeah, but that was I watched that live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, for 7 years that show jerked me around. Don't watch Pretty Little Liars, or if you do, stop watching after season 3.
So yeah, so I'm committed. I'm gonna finish it. I do enjoy the characters. I mean, I enjoy being there with them in my mind, so it's fun, even if there are a lot of herbs. But so that's what we forgot.
Yeah. Hopefully we won't forget anything else, but if we do, we'll see you next time on We Forgot. I forgot. Come back.
I forgot. And we're back.
And we're back, because I forgot one more thing I wanted to talk about. So for any embroiderers out there, you probably know the notorious blue water-soluble marker that everyone traces all of their patterns on with. The marker just kept spreading so wide on my projects that it was hard for me to like find the center and really make a clean line. And so I went to the internet and asked it for solutions, and it told me about this pen. I don't know if you can read it. I'll link it below. Yeah, because it's not gonna, you can't read it. It's a Pilot Friction Ball erasable pen. And while you don't use the eraser, you just use a blow dryer and the pen mark goes away. Test on your material first before trying it, but it worked perfectly for me. It's what I used for Allison and Jack's project. It was so nice not having to dunk my whole project in water to get rid of the trace marks, and then having to let it dry through the next day most likely. So yeah, I really recommend this. It was super fun to watch the lines disappear, and it was very easy to trace with. It didn't pull at the fabric at all, depending on what fabric you use. I'm using muslin, but yeah, it didn't pull at the fabric, so I had a good time with this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, is there anything else
That we forgot.
that we forgot?
I can't. No, I think that's everything.
Okay, so again, thanks for joining us on this episode of
We forgot.